In today's video, I'll break down the exact three-phased approach we used to scale our latest arbitrage business from $0 to $1 million in just 6 months. It wasn't easy. There were constant challenges from managing inventory to finding the right sources. While we're focusing on what worked, we managed to grow faster than we thought was possible. I'll walk you through the key strategies that fueled this rapid growth, the obstacles we faced, and the crucial lessons we learned along the way. So if you're looking to scale your Amazon arbitrage business or want to understand what it takes to succeed in arbitrage, this video is for you. I'm Jassim Issa, CEO and founder of Videra, an Amazon e-commerce business with over 8 years in the arbitrage reselling game. Last year, we launched a new branch and applied everything we'd learned over the last 8 years to fast track its growth, and it paid off, hitting about 1 million in revenue in just 6 months for that new branch alone. In today's video, I'll share the exact process we followed to achieve that milestone, the key strategies we relied on, and the lessons we applied to get there faster. Whether you're a new seller looking to scale an existing video or looking to grow your current operation, hopefully this video will give you a proven roadmap that we used for rapid growth. And stick around and walk through how we continue to plan to 10x it from there and what we're planning to do with that branch from here, or that business branch from here on out. So diving into it, the first part is intense preparation. I really like the quote from Abraham Lincoln: "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." I believe in it a lot. Our team does the same thing. So the foundation, the objective of this phase, the preparation the foundation for rapid growth began with intense preparation. Leveraging our experience, we drew from established SOPs and key insights to create a clear, achievable growth plan, aiming to anticipate and overcome potential roadblocks for the highest probability of success, just basically getting ahead of things. So the key decisions that we had to decide on when preparing and deciding on the roadmap, obviously the biggest one is the location selections. Right now we're in 4 locations across the so 5th with this one. This was our 5th across the United States, and we wanted to choose a location that had these factors. One, supplier proximity. Proximity is the biggest one. We can't just choose a location in, for example, middle of nowhere in North Dakota per se, or that has no resources or outlet malls or retail stores that are around it. That would have been very hard to draw inventory from. So we had to consider nearby suppliers, the place location to optimize inventory acquisition and the effectiveness of shoppers going to stores, outlet malls, etc. The second one was ease of access, evaluated transportation routes, efficient sourcing and distribution, near a highway, near the airport if we needed to travel someone in, travel someone out, near other states. That's all relevant factors. And then geographical coverage. As I mentioned, we already had 4 locations before this one. So we wanted to be positioned in an area that would provide access to new products, including seasonal and unique items not available in our other locations. So just giving us the extra inventory coverage and new types of products to get into. Also, we had to obviously prepare and decide on resources, essential resources for success, including obviously the team. So prioritized hiring high-skilled, trustworthy team members who could operate independently and run this branch. Vehicles, equipment, all that kind of stuff. Selecting a vehicle with sufficient capacity along with essential warehousing tools. So, and I'll get into a little bit of that later as well. But you wanted a reliable van that can handle a day's worth of shopping. We didn't, so we bought that ahead of time. And we recommend the sprinters. They actually have a high ceiling, and it fits a lot of inventory, and it's instead of having to rent a trailer or a truck, it helps get around quickly. And facility requirements, so the warehouse. Determine the optimal warehouse size and specification to handle inventory needs effectively. We went with a warehouse that had 2,000 square feet. Didn't have a loading dock, but it did have an open garage, so a garage that opens, which is helpful, so we can load and unload inventory quickly. It's one slot, basically no office. It's not segmented, so it makes things easier too. And that obviously was part of preparing, choosing the right stuff. And then the operational setup, a phased approach, initially focusing on purchasing and fulfillment. We wanted to implement a lean structure, keep overhead low while maximizing operational efficiency. So we didn't start getting into a lot of the stuff like forklifts, all the stuff. We just wanted to make sure we got the basics right enough to be able to buy products and ship products. And it's as simple as that. And obviously the budgeting and financial cushion. So we wanted to make sure that we had the financial cash flow to be able to fund another branch, cover initial investments, cover unexpected expenses. This could be anywhere from like the car, even though we did a due diligence, 2 weeks in, the engine could have blown out. So we had to make sure that we had enough coverage to be able to cover that kind of stuff. And then we set up a very basic startup roadmap kind of phases, also many phases within our big phases, just the first month. So step by step measurable goals, and then we can go basically from one step to another. So the biggest one was the first month. Obviously, that's when the tires start hitting the ground. We wanted to just get $10,000 in purchases, make sure the system works, put inventory through the system, have it start running. We wanted to also ensure our personnel was onboarded appropriately. We had a target for two shoppers for one warehouse person. Usually we find that's the right capacity. That's the right flow. So we got a warehouse supervisor, two full-time shoppers, and obviously the vehicle, getting it running. That's all in the first month. Setting up the essentials, the warehouse, the printer, all that kind of inventory, just to make sure that we can handle the end-to-end operations. And then months 2 to 6, that's when we start testing those operations. We wanted to triple purchases each month. We went in those months. So we went from 10 to 30 to 90 and so on and so forth, and $90,000 purchases per month, and to continue making sure that we have enough flow to support that and continue to push through that. Obviously, we capped, I think, at around 300,000, but then that's month 6 plus, which is where we're at right now. Begin scaling regionally, hiring additional staff, and I'll cover this later in the video on our long-term plan. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'll cover this at the end of the video as well. So the second phase of this is obviously building the right team and executing. This is where we had the plan, we have to execute on now. So execute a high-impact, scalable strategy by assembling a capable team and focusing on simple, effective processes that drive growth. So our execution strategy, the mentality that we have, is it's kind of keep it simple, stupid. The motto that we always say is simple skills, fancy feels. So prioritizing actions that directly impact growth while keeping processes streamlined and cost effective. Just doing the basics. No need for a fancy car. No need for fancy processes. Going to stores, scanning inventory, taking to the warehouse, shipping it from using our laptop and basic stuff. Clear roles and responsibilities. Organize the team into 2 core functions. This is where we shopping and warehousing. So it's 2 basic functions. The shoppers buy the inventory, the warehousing ships the inventory. Each had specific goals and expectation to ensure accountability, basically. Focused sourcing. Applied the 80-20 rule to target a small set of high-yield suppliers and stores, basically, maximizing returns from those before expanding to additional stores. And this is part of keeping it simple. We don't need to go to 6,000 stores in a month. There's 2 or 3 stores that can give us enough of our products. Just hitting those every day, making relationships with those managers, introducing ourselves, getting our feet wet. No need to go wide before we went deep with a few people, and then we started going wider as we got those better. And we focused on high ROI products, concentrating on products with the highest return on investment, optimizing inventory for quality over quantity, and maintain efficient growth, and achieve early purchasing goals. So since we had only 10,000 purchasing in the first and it was smaller goals, we could pick and choose the products we wanted. So we were fairly picky. We wanted to make sure we chose the best products. Performance-based incentives for motivation. Establish a system where rewards are tied to profitability, motivate the team to focus on action that contribute directly to the company's financial success. So just an example, the shopper, we told them that if you meet this purchasing month, so it's 30,000, we'll give you $100. So we gave them bonuses tied to the outcome. So if they hit the outcome of the purchasing, if they got us average ROI of 40%, we'll give them X. And that's what we did. We made sure that when they reach a bonus, it's also beneficial for us. And we built a knowledge sharing system. So created a system to share best practices and real-time insights across branches. So like I said, we have 5 branches. If like let's say a valuable opportunity, like example, Lego sale at Walmart emerges in one place, it's shared with other branches to maximize potential gains company-wide. And then for the team and the resources, so with strategic staffing, we made sure when we hired the shopper, we gave our best leads to the best source to the best employees. So we had a person that was with us for 3 years, and we gave them this. They were the lead shopper there, and they're running it till today. And then for the warehouse supervisor, we interviewed over 70 people. We put the ad out on Indeed. We wanted to see someone with e-commerce experience, doesn't job hop, and is trustworthy. We can trust them with information because they're going to be operating that branch on their own. Hundreds of thousands of dollars are going to be going and coming through it. So that's a big factor of it. And then obviously making sure we have the essential resources are executed, they're available over there, they're implemented, the ones we planned for before. So high capacity vehicle, we test the vehicle, make sure it's running. Everything is smooth. The warehouse tools, the Dymo 4XL printer, the laptop, all that stuff is processed. Employee credit cards, all that stuff is executed. It's available, and we test it to make sure it's all going up to plan. We also focus on the local partnership and enhanced operations. So to enhance the operations. So for example, the local UPS for daily pickups, we call them, we have a regional sales manager here. He helps us with our relationship down there. And this is pretty easy, like without complicating. Instead of sending products to UPS every day, they come to our warehouse and pick it up. And that's a huge benefit. And even if you don't have any connections, just flag down a UPS driver, give him be nice to him, give him some stuff, and they'll start coming daily to pick up. That's just a side tip, but that's a huge time saver. A warehouse selection, so we already spoke about that earlier. And then initial team and onboarding program. This is huge. This is when we're executing the first few months. They set the precedent for what it's going to look like moving forward. So create a structured onboarding program focused on core processes, quality standards, productivity tools. So the Scan Power this is the program that we use, tells you how much they scan. We walk them through that. We make sure everyone has the training. The first week or 2 weeks, we almost expect no purchases. We just make sure that they're trained properly, and we invest in them and prepare them, as I mentioned earlier, so they can hit the ground running when they go to it. So all ensure that we're being value driven. We ensure that we're meeting all that kind of stuff. So that's the execution part of it. And then finally, that was phase 2. And then finally for phase 3, tracking progress and planning future growth. So this is where everything's executed. We're month 1 through 6. What's after that? And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit right now. So the objective is in this phase to maintain a consistent framework for tracking performance, making adjustments as needed, and strategically preparing for sustainable expansion. So we look at the primary KPIs that we like to look at. We like to keep it simple again. So for shoppers, it's spend per month and per hour. So we look at total volume. So how much did that shopper spend in a month? We're hoping that after a few months, they can get to $100,000 to $150,000 a month in spending, that single shopper. And then also how much are they doing per hour? So how efficient are they? So if a shopper is able to spend $100,000 in half the hours of another shopper is spending $100,000, that's a bonus for them, and they're also rewarded on that, as I mentioned earlier. And then for the warehouse, it's very simple. It's units shipped per month over units purchased. So I want to make sure that they're staying up to date with the units purchased. Just as an example, if the purchasing team bought 1,000 units today, I expect the warehouse to ship out the 1,000 units within 72 hours. So how much are they shipping compared to what's coming in? So let's just say over a week, we bought 10,000 items last week. I expect the week after that to ship 10,000 items to make sure that the warehouse is up to date and keeps up. And also how much are they shipping per hour? So for example, the average here in our local branch is 30 units an hour. How much are they doing over there? And then obviously the big thing for the entire branch is the ROI and profit of the division. So how is that division profitable? That's what it all comes down to, and making sure that we're focusing on that and growing it and rewarding our employees for pushing that. The second important part of this also is individual development plans for the employees and expansion of them. We want to make sure we have employee retention. It costs, I think they said studies 3 times as much as employees' salary for a month to replace them. So we want to make sure we keep our employees, we keep them happy, we invest in them, we continue teaching them skills, because ideally for the expansion, if we want to open another region, we can use one of the resources, employees from there to do that for us. So we want to invest in them and take them seriously. And then that's where our future growth plan comes in. So as I mentioned, the first 6 months, it's a quote unquote startup branch. After that, it should be reliable. So from the short term, 6 to 12 months, we scale the team incrementally to meet immediate growth demands. We add 1 additional shopper or 2 additional shoppers, and then each shopper we add again, each 2 shoppers we add, we add a warehouse employee. So ideally in that 6 to 12 months, we're adding 2 shoppers and we're adding another warehouse employee. And that's what we did. So it's been a year and a half, and that's approximately we're on this stage. We just passed a little bit. And refine and document best practices in sourcing, inventory management, and fulfillment, so we can use it for future branches and also improve that one. We update our SOPs. We track the KPIs. We see how we're doing. And then midterm, 12 to 24 months. So this is the one we're in right now, obviously. We begin looking into a little bit of the regional expansion. So we have the major city that they're in. We start looking at major cities around it. So just as an example, if let's say this was in Illinois, I'll start looking at Milwaukee. I'll start looking at any regions that are 5 to 6 hours. Like we hire a team of 2 shoppers with a trailer to start going there. And this is what we're trying to do and what we're trying to implement. Continue assessing regional demand. We see regional cities that are good and bounce on those. And then for the long term, 24 plus months, basically, this is what we're looking to get into. We solidify the branch's foundation, strategically expand, strengthen the local and traveling teams. So we make sure that the major city team is strong. And then also the traveling team, we call it, that goes to regional areas, is also strong. They're fully capitalized on the areas. They're regularly depleting the inventory from the sources. So we're up to date with the local sources. We're taking all the inventory that they have as much as we can, at least. Regularly reassess KPIs and process to identify areas for improvement, and promoting continuous optimization, and begin planning a new branch in another strategic location, replicating this branch's success model while adapting to unique market needs. If you found value in this breakdown on how we scaled our new Amazon branch to 1 million in 6 months, check out this video on the top 10 lessons we learned from 8 years in retail arbitrage success. It should feed right into this. Whether you're working to grow your business or just starting out, these insights will be game changers, hopefully. And if you're similar in your journey or have your own scaling challenges, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story and connect. Thank you.